Good morning. In the last lecture, we have finished this relation between modulus of elasticity and modulus of rigidity. These are known as the elastic constant and these are the properties of the material. Okay, so this is the relation between the modulus of elasticity and modulus of rigidity. Here, what we have considered for this, we have considered one cube, and on this cube we have applied the shear stress. If I apply the shear stress, means shear force, and because of that, that shear stress is induced on this plane DC. Okay, this is one plane, it is a cube, this is the front view. Okay, now the reactive force is induced on this AB, and a complementary shear stress, because of this shear force there is a shear stress, and a complementary shear stress is induced opposite kind of nature. The complementary shear stress is induced on a plane which is perpendicular to that. So these are the shear stress which are applied, whereas these are the complementary shear stresses which are induced on a plane which is perpendicular to that plane. And because of this stress structure, here these diagonals are in compression and tension. By considering the concept of the principal planes and stresses, I explain you, even we apply some shear force or the shear stress, because of that shear stress on some inclined plane, the normal and tangential stresses are also induced here. So the direct stresses here are induced in this diagonal, but these are the direct stresses induced because of the shear stress. And because of this direct stresses, here this AC, the diagonal AC elongated here to AC dash, and this BD is in compression. Here means AC is in tension and BD is in compression. Here this also I explain you by considering one triangle, what will be the magnitude of this direct stress. Here, so it is observed that here the direct stress induced in the diagonal is equal to the shear stress applied. Here, since it's a cube, by considering the BD of any one part, here we have considered one imaginary section along the diagonal, and we consider this triangular part, and we have drawn the BD and we are applying the condition of equilibrium. We prove that the direct stress induced in this diagonal is equal to the shear stress. Now, in this diagonal there is a tensile stress, in this diagonal there is a compressive stress. Okay, then to derive the relation between E and G, this derivation is in two parts. In first part, we have calculated the shear stress in a diagonal here, and because of that, the strain in diagonal because of the shear stress, which is CC dash upon 2BC. This was the first part. In second part, we have derived that the direct stress in this diagonal is equal to the shear stress. Then by considering these two mutually perpendicular diagonals, here we have calculated the strain in diagonal AC because of these two biaxial stresses. Okay, here this diagonal is in tension, whereas this plane is in compression. So because of this both the effect, we have calculated the total strain in the diagonal AC. So resultant strain in diagonal AC is this sigma upon E, which is tensile in nature. This is the linear strain along the AC because of this tensile stress, and this stress is also responsible to induce the strain in diagonal AC. Here that becomes the lateral strain. Here, so it is 1 upon m, that is mu, Poisson's ratio, into the linear strain. It is sigma upon E. This is the linear strain in this direction along the BD. And if you multiply it by Poisson's ratio, you will get the lateral strain. This is the lateral strain along AC because of the stress acting along BD. So this is the resultant strain in diagonal AC because of the direct stresses. This is the strain in diagonal because of the shear stress. And we have proved that the shear stress is equal to the direct stress. So we have replaced this tau by sigma, and then we have equated these two. If we equate these two, okay, here we will get the relation E equal to 2G into 1 plus mu. Okay, so this is the relation between E and G, first relation which you have to remember. E equal to 2G plus mu, or 1 upon m you can say. Relation between the modulus of elasticity and modulus of rigidity. Now, the next part which you have to study is the relation between the bulk modulus and elastic modulus. That is the modulus of elasticity and the bulk modulus. Before this, I explain you what is the bulk modulus. The bulk modulus is also one of the elastic constant, or you can say it is a property of the material, which is related to the compressibility. Okay. What I explained about the modulus of, bulk modulus, when object is subjected to the triaxial stress system of equal magnitude and same in nature. All three should be either tensile or all three should be either compressive. Okay. So when three identical stresses of equal magnitude, identical means nature should be identical, and equal magnitude are acting here, then the ratio of this direct stress to the volumetric strain is known as the bulk modulus. This is known as the bulk modulus. Okay. Now, before this, I explain this clear. The volumetric strain for the triaxial loading, the volumetric strain can be written as, even for uniaxial and biaxial also we can say that, the volumetric strain we have defined as the strain in x plus y plus z direction. Here, this we have proved that ex plus ey plus ez, volumetric strain. Okay, and from this one, the final formula which we have derived here, volumetric strain, kya tha? What was the formula for the volumetric strain for the triaxial loading? Sigma x plus sigma y plus sigma z upon, tell me, anybody unmute yourself and tell me what was the formula?
Upon E.
Upon E into
1 minus 2 mu.
2 mu, right. So volumetric strain is equal to sigma x plus sigma y plus sigma z upon E into 1 minus 2 mu. This is the formula which we have derived for the volumetric strain for the triaxial loading. Here sigma x, sigma y and sigma z are the stresses along x, y and z direction. Now if you consider this, here this object is also subjected to the triaxial loading. But in all the three directions the stresses are equal. Sigma x equal to sigma y equal to sigma z. Okay, and which is equal to sigma. Here, so here I can write this volumetric strain for this. If I apply here, then this is 3 times sigma upon E into 1 minus 2 mu. Can I write like this? Okay. It is 3 sigma upon E into 1 minus 2 mu. This is one relation between the volumetric strain. Here the second relation, here we know that the bulk, we have to derive the relation between the modulus of bulk modulus and modulus of elasticity. So this is one formula equation, this is another equation. Here, now from equation 1 I can write down EV equal to sigma upon K, isn't it? Here, if I equate this, yeah, so you will get 3 sigma upon E into 1 minus 2 mu equal to sigma upon K. This sigma direct stress get cancelled. And if I simplify this, here, I'll get E equal to 3K into 1 minus 2 mu. Okay, this is another relation between E and K. This is E equal to 3K into 1 minus 2 mu. Relation between modulus of rigidity and modulus of elasticity. So this second part is very simple. Just you have to consider one cube which is subjected to the identical and equal magnitude stresses, triaxial stresses. And from this one we have defined the bulk modulus, which is the direct stress upon the volumetric strain. From this one, volumetric strain can be written as sigma upon K. And for this cube which is subject to the triaxial loading, what will be the volumetric strain? So for this the volumetric strain becomes 3 sigma upon E into 1 minus 2 mu. If you equate this, you will get that. Okay. Now if I combine these two equations, first equation is relation between E and G, and second relation between E and K. And if I combine these two equations, I will get the relation between E, G and K. Relation between the three moduli of elasticity, modulus of rigidity, and the bulk modulus. Here, so relation between E, G and K. If in exam, if it is asked, derive the relation between E, G and K, you have to derive both the parts. First, you have to derive this equation, then this equation, and from these two equations, here just combine these two equations. How you can combine these two equations? From these two equations, eliminate the mu. so that we will get the relation between E, G and K. Mu eliminate करने का. From any one equation, calculate, get the value of mu, okay, and substitute in another equation. Okay, so if you do that, you will get the relation between E, G and K. Here, I'll keep it for homework. क्या करने का है? ये equation में से mu का value निकालने का है in terms of E and G. What will be that? It is E upon 2G or 1 minus E upon 2G, somewhat like this. If you substitute here and if you again simplify, you will get the relation between E, G and K. And the final relation equal to E equal to 9 into K into G upon 3K plus G. Remember, you have to remember all these formulas for solving the sum, because every time we cannot derive. Okay, so relation between E, G and K. E equal to 9 into K into G upon 3K plus G for any one single material. Here for the same material, the relation between the moduli of elasticity here, or three moduli, modulus of elasticity, modulus of rigidity and bulk modulus, is given by this formula. Understood? Yeah, this was the last part of this lesson. We'll solve one question and then we'll stop this. We'll finish this lesson, stress and strain. Okay, now in our question bank, there is one question on page number 38. In that one, it is given that any doubt before solving the sum, any doubt in this derivation, please let me know. Okay. Sum number 21, page number 38 from our question bank. In this one, it is given that in an experiment, a bar of 30 millimeter diameter, the original diameter of the rod is given as 30 millimeter, is subjected to a pull of 60 kilonewton. One circular rod is there, which is subjected to an axial pull of 60 kilonewton. The measured extension of the gauge length of 200 millimeter is 0.09 millimeter and the change in diameter is 0.0039 millimeter. Here, original length of that rod is 200 millimeter. Original diameter is 30 millimeter. Okay, and it is subjected to an axial pull of 60 kilonewton. Subjected to an axial pull of 60 kilonewton. Because of this 60 kilonewton, it is observed that this test is performed on our universal testing machine, and after performance here it is observed that here the change in length, there is a deformation is equal to 0.09 millimeter, and change in diameter, okay, is equal to 0.0039 millimeter. 0039 millimeter. Okay, this is given data. What do you have to find out? Calculate the Poisson's ratio and the value of 3 moduli. From this data, you have to calculate the Poisson's ratio, mu, and you have to calculate the 3 moduli. 3 moduli means you have to calculate the modulus of elasticity, modulus of rigidity, and the bulk modulus. These 3 moduli you have to calculate. Okay. Now, listen. I told you that when I explained you about the Poisson's ratio, about the lateral strain and linear strain, at that time I told you, here whenever there is a change in one dimension, there has to be the change in other dimension. In our technical language, we can say that whenever there is a linear strain, the lateral strain has to be there. Linear strain and lateral strains are always associated with each other and they are opposite in nature. Is from this sum, if the pull type of force is applied, because of this there is an increase in length. If this is the increase in length, this has to be decrease in diameter. This much diameter is decreased because of this 60 kilonewton. Means if this strain in the direction of applied force is known as the linear strain. Clear? So linear strain can be written as the change in linear dimension, which is the linear dimension, length is the linear dimension here. So change in linear dimension upon original linear dimension. Yeah, so change in linear dimension is 0.09 upon 200. So these become the linear strain. Okay, and with respect to this force, the dimension which are perpendicular to that are known as the lateral dimension. So we know the lateral dimension, change in lateral dimension also, and we know the original lateral dimension also. So these become the lateral dimension. So from this one we can calculate the lateral strain. So lateral strain equal to the change in lateral dimension upon original lateral dimension. It is 0.0039 upon original lateral dimension is 30 millimeter. You will get the lateral strain. Actually, this is tensile in nature and this is compressive in nature. Here, then we know that the mu equal to lateral strain upon linear strain. Take the ratio of these two strain, you will get the mu. Okay, don't use any sign convention. Here for tensile, positive and compressive negative. If you use that, you will get this mu is negative, but mu is never negative. Okay, here mu is never negative, so only use the numerical values. Okay, so lateral strain upon linear strain, you will get the mu. Okay, then how we can get the modulus of elasticity? Modulus of elasticity, now we have calculated the linear strain. Okay, so with the help of that linear strain, we can calculate the modulus of elasticity. Yeah, because we know that the modulus of elasticity equal to linear strain, linear stress to the linear strain. Stress upon strain to the ratio of stress to the strain is known as the modulus of elasticity. But which strain you have to consider here? Linear, not the lateral. So E equal to linear stress upon linear strain. Okay, and if you substitute this, instead of calculating this stress with the help of this force and original cross-sectional area, here if I substitute this E equal to this equal to P upon A and linear strain equal to delta L upon L, here if you substitute this value, here you will get the answer. Or you can write P upon A upon E linear, because E linear value is known to you. Substitute here, you will get the answer. This is the modulus of elasticity. Now this force is in kilonewton converted into Newton, area is in millimeter square, so you will get E in terms of Newton per millimeter square. So E equal to this. Tell me the answers. Calculate and tell me the answers. How much is the mu? Mu kitna आता है?
0.3.
0.3. Okay. Answer is 0.288, but it's okay. No problem. How much is the value of E? Come on, fast. Where are the others? Varad. Other students, write your answer in the chat box. Now we got the mu and the modulus of elasticity. How can we get the modulus of rigidity and the bulk modulus? Tell me. How we can get this too? Now we know the relation between E and G in terms of mu. Substitute the value, you will get the G. Also we know the relation between E and K in terms of mu. Here substitute the value, you will get K. That's all. So for solving the sum, you have to remember that formula. Tell me the answers. Unmute yourself and tell me the answer. Screen is not in front of me. Yes.
Sir, it's 188.62 Newton millimeter.
180. E is 188.62.
62
What?
Newton 10 raised to 3.
10 raised to 3. Listen, either you write 10 raised to 3 Newton per millimeter square, or you write 188.62 kilonewton per millimeter square. Okay, if you don't write this and if you write here like this 188.62 Newton per millimeter square, if I am the examiner, I will give it wrong. ओके फिर ये नहीं बोलने का कि सर उधर तो सिर्फ 10⁻³ ही नहीं लिखा है, नहीं तो इधर से k नहीं लिखा है. I'm not going to listen. You have to be careful while writing this. From the first lecture I am telling to you. Now substitute the value of E and mu in first equation and get the value of G and K. Come on fast. Tell me the value of G and K. Gautam, E is 188. Still you people are in 188 only. E only. Come on, fast. Go ahead. And tell me the value of G. $73.12 Mohit Kumar Verma. What is the unit? Vidit, send the answer of K. Vidit, unmute yourself.
Yes, sir.
What is the unit of K?
So Newton per millimeter square.
Sure.
So I'll check once again, sir.
No, what is bulk modulus? What is K? What is bulk modulus? Do you remember the definition?
Ratio of direct strain upon two volumetric strains. No unitless. Sorry.
No, man, you are wrong. K is the ratio of direct stress to the volumetric strain.
Volumetric
strain
strain.
upon strain नहीं है. Strain upon strain नहीं है. It's the direct stress to the volumetric strain. And this is a unitless. So unit of modulus of bulk modulus is equal to the modulus of stress. Okay. So it is Newton per millimeter square.
Yes, sir.
Okay. What is the unit of G? It is also Newton per millimeter square.
Per millimeter square.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
All of you got the answer? Any doubt? Now you have to do the practice. Listen, actually, this first lesson is over. You have to do the practice. Get some book here on net. You may get some few questions, previous year question papers. Refer the previous year question papers. Solve the questions. You have the enough time now. Listen to me. Once the college will start and when you will come to the college, you are not going to get the time. You will be very busy in practicals and other work. Here, so now you are at home, so you do your study regularly. Our first lesson is over. Today itself I am going to post the assignment till night. Okay, here in that Google Classroom. There only I will tell you the last date of submission. Before that you have to do the submission well in time. Okay, I am not going to listen, sir. I am not able to upload and all these things at 11th hour. Here in advance you have to submit. Make the PDF and submit. Here this is about the assignment. Then prepare, revise the entire lesson. Okay, because in next lecture I will send the link either in chat box or in the Google Classroom for the quiz. Immediately we have to finish the first quiz also. Okay, so for the first quiz you have to revise. Okay, and quiz I will conduct during the lecture only. Here I will post the quiz and within 10 minutes here the link will get deactivated. Understood? Okay, so you have to, in 10 minutes you have to solve the 10 questions. Yeah, so prepare the quiz properly. If you have any doubt, you can post on the group. What I'm suggesting to you all, listen, most of the students ask me the doubts on my personal chat. Okay, so it becomes difficult for me to refer that chat if I required. Okay, so that's why I request you all to ask the doubts on the group only, not on my personal chat. There are other doubts on the Google Classroom. Okay, so that I can get all the record. Otherwise, it will become very difficult to search who asked the what questions and all that thing. Here, if all of when I read the question at that time, if I am not able to answer that question, okay, so in 1 or 2 hours, here the number of messages are appear and that goes below. So means after that I may forget or I may not get that question. Okay, so I request you ask the doubts here on the group only. Okay, today we'll stop here because of this final year exam. We have a lot of work. Every day there is a meeting, and because of that, not able to take the yesterday's lecture. So next week that exam is going to finish. After that, we'll take our regular lectures here. So today we'll wind up here. We'll stop here, and from next, okay, one important thing. From next lecture, I'm going to start one very important topic: shear force and bending moment diagram. Actually, this topic was also important. This was the basic for the strength of material. Now, from next lecture, I'm going to start the shear force and bending moment diagram. Okay, here for civil student as well as for mechanical student. Here, this part is very important. Whenever any component is there which we need to design, okay, for example, shaft, or for civil, for example, the beam. Whenever it is required to design a component which is subjected to some bending moment. Bending moment means when the component is subjected to some lateral loading. For example, shaft or beam. When it is required to design such type of component, we need to draw the shear force and bending moment diagram. Okay, so what is that shear force and bending moment diagram and how to draw this? Here from next lecture we are going to start. And remember one thing, if you remember the shear force and bending moment diagram, if you understood this concept of the shear force and bending moment diagram, then you don't have to learn it. Okay, let me tell you, in strength of material, this is the only lesson in which you don't have to learn any of the formula. Otherwise, in all the lessons, there are number of formulas which you have to learn and remember to solve the sums. This is the only lesson where understanding is required, and once you understood the concept, then no need to do the practice or no need to do the remember any of the formula. Okay, so this lesson is important and you will enjoy definitely. If you know, if you have the.
Sir, what is the weightage of this chapter?
There is only one or two questions will be on SFD BMD. The weightage will be 10 to 12 marks. Earlier it was asked for 14 marks also, but 10 to 12 marks. Okay, maybe 14 sometime if in first question and one after that in question number 2 or 3 here, then the weightage may be more. Yeah, but for civil student, this is very important. For civil student, listen, for civil student earlier there was 2 subjects, one strength of material and other one is a structural analysis 1, then structural analysis 2. So there are 3 subjects were there for civil. Okay, now this 3 in your C scheme, these 3 subjects are clubbed for civil. Okay, and there is one form and structural analysis. Okay, so some part of the structural analysis is clubbed with strength of material, and some part of structural analysis 1 and 2 here that subject becomes the structural analysis. Here, so for the mechanical student, here in shear force and bending moment diagram, there is only you have to draw the shear force and bending moment diagram for the beam, means for horizontal member. Okay, means when there is a single member, such type of single member. shear force and bending moment diagram for the beam. Such type of one beam is there which is supported with hinge or roller here, and some loading is applied. Yes, so draw the shear force and bending moment. Only single member is there, which we can say that the shear force and bending moment diagram for the beam. Okay, for civil student you can consider it as a beam. For mechanical student you can consider it as a shaft. Okay, here. So for designing the beam and shaft, we need to draw the shear force and bending moment. Now for civil student, apart from that, here there is one very important lesson, the shear force and bending moment diagram for frames, which is not in mechanical. Shear force and bending moment diagram for frames. For frame means there is a number of members are connected together. Here in structure, if you observe, here, जो structure रहता है, if you consider the steel structure, so there are number of members connected together, so that becomes the frame. Okay, so suppose this is one member, this is another member, this is the third member, and they are supported like this. Maybe with the help of pin joint or maybe with the help of rigid joint. Here at the pin joint, the rotational motion is allowed. Yeah, this is the rigid joint, like a welded joint, where the relative motion is not allowed. Okay, so joints may be different. So then such type of number of members, here AB is one member, BC is another member, CD is the third member. So when such type of number of members are connected together, yeah, to form one frame, to form one rigid structure, then this structure is known as a frame. So we have to draw the shear force and bending moment diagram for such of frames also. Yeah, so in that one we are going to consider the ability of each member separately, and we are going to draw the shear force and bending moment diagram. Okay, so here only one member is there, here three members are there. Yeah, so if there is a shear force and bending moment diagram for the frame, in exam the weightage for this is around 16 marks, 14 to 16 marks. Okay. Yeah, because 3 SFD BMGs we have to draw. Yeah, so for civil student, this lesson is very important. And remember one thing, once you know the concept, it is very easy to draw. Only you should know the concept. Okay, any doubt? Then we'll stop here for today's lecture. Thank you. I'll end the meeting in after 2 or 3 minutes. By that time, you write your name and roll number in chat box and then leave. Before leaving the meeting, write your name and roll number in the chat box.